Tonight marking the end of an era. George H.W. Bush, remembered as the nation's last great soldier-statesman who put service before self. The late president's hearse passing his former home on Pennsylvania Avenue. His arrival at the National Cathedral heralded with the highest of American honors. The Bush family looking on. Inside, partisan politics taking a pause, a rare moment of unity. President Trump greeting President and Mrs. Obama face-to-face with his predecessor and the Clintons for the first time since taking office. Then George W. Bush paying a visit, handing candy to Michelle Obama, every living president together to remember 41. He was the last commander-in-chief from the greatest generation, the World War II fighter pilot shot down over the Pacific.
President Bush would frequently ask, "Why me? Why was I spared?" And in a sense, the rest of his life was a perennial effort to prove himself worthy of his salvation on that distant morning.
Biographer and friend John Meacham recalling Bush's sense of humor.
He grabbed the hand of a department store mannequin asking for votes. When he realized his mistake, he said, "Never know, gotta ask." You can hear the voice, can't you? As Dana Carvey said, the key to a Bush 41 impersonation is Mr. Rogers trying to be John Wayne.
Longtime friend Senator Alan Simpson reminding Americans of the values Bush lived by, now perhaps in Washington, in short supply.
He never hated anyone. He knew what his mother and my mother always knew: hatred corrodes the container it's carried in. The most decent and honorable person I ever met was my friend George Bush, one of nature's noblemen.
Our Father.
Today's ceremony both powerful and poignant, the most personal tribute from a son about his father.
We tested his patience. I know I did. But he always responded with the great gift of unconditional love. Last Friday, when I was told he had minutes to live, I called him. I said, "Dad, I love you and you've been a wonderful father." And the last words he would ever say on earth were, "I love you too."
W recalling his dad's signature adventurous spirit.
At age 90, George H.W. Bush parachuted out of an aircraft and landed on the grounds of St. Anne's by the Sea in Kennebunkport, Maine, the church where his mom was married and where he worshiped often. Mother liked to say he chose the location just in case the chute didn't open.
An eternal bond with Barbara, his beloved wife of 73 years.
In his old age, Dad enjoyed watching police show reruns, the volume on high, all the while holding Mom's hand. After Mom died, Dad was strong, but all he really wanted to do was hold Mom's hand again.
Tonight, celebrating his father's extraordinary life, one defined by family, faith, and loyalty.
Well, Dad, we're going to remember you for exactly that and much more. And we're going to miss you. Your decency, sincerity, and kind soul will stay with us forever. So through our tears, let us know the blessings of knowing and loving you, a great and noble man, the best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
That powerful moment punctuated by the entire cathedral breaking out in applause. So many moving speeches today. John Meacham revealing to us that he actually read his eulogy to 41 before he passed. Bush characteristically said, "That's a lot about me, John." Humble to the very end.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.